welcome to the With Mates podcast. My name is not Andrew Grayson, your host as ever. My name is not Craig Andrew Mooney, special guest host of the Severance podcast. Go check that out. It is a secret third thing. It's me, Joseph Boone. Hello, how you doing? It's normally Baby Boone, but now I'm in charge for one night only, ladies and gentlemen. The parents, Craig and Andrew, are away, which means the children can play. We're eating ice cream for breakfast. We're staying up late playing Sonic Adventure 2. It's going to be a great time. And joining me in that rampant affair of chaos is a man who once secretly confided in me that he cannot get to sleep without his bespoke Darth Maul body pillow. And quite frankly, he's never been in a better place emotionally. It's Paulie Smack, Paul Stirrett. How you doing, Paul?
What's up? When Mummy and Daddy are away, the lads are out to play.
This is going to be wild.
Wild.
This is going to be utterly wild.
What are they thinking? Putting us in charge?
I don't know.
I
do not know.
I have every confidence.
This is going to be fucking wild.
I have every
I've
confidence.
never hosted
this will be great.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to be grand.
It's going to be grand. We're here to talk about The Last of Us Season 2. That's what we're going to be divulging today. But before we do, just because we had some technical difficulties before we started this pod, and something came up, Paul, we're going to compare unread emails. How many unread emails do you have?
How many unread emails, listeners, are in your mailbox? Well, let's see. Do you want to go, Joseph, or will I?
What we'll do is, before you do, anyone in the comments, wherever, guess how many unread emails both me and Paul have, because we're not the best at responding to messages quite quickly, are we, Paul?
Oh, no. There's definitely a few business day delay for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely a few business days delay, and you can't see the embarrassment on our faces because this is audio only, because Mum and Dad won't let us be video only because it would just be chaos. But Paul, how many unread emails do you have?
Before I answer that question, Joseph, I have another question that's just came to my mind.
Yeah.
In this scenario, who is Mummy and who is Daddy?
So in my experience, I think I think Craig is Mummy, because Craig's, he's very much, we need to have things in order, we need to do this, we need to be good, you need to be good, otherwise you won't get chocolate. And Andrew's dad, because he lets us get away with fucking murder.
Yeah, I can agree. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's good with me.
Listeners, in the comments, who do you think is Mum and who is Dad? Is it Craig, Andrew Mooney, or is it Andrew Grayson? Who is who? Would you like to see them dressed up as Mum and Dad? Anyway, Paul, how many unread emails do you have in your inbox at the moment?
That's right. Well, currently in my box there are 34,858 emails.
Oh my God, Paul, that's worse than me. I thought 29,081 was bad. 34. That's almost 35,000 emails, Paul.
I know, and every last one could be telling me that I've inherited some kind of treasure from Nigeria. But
is that Prince contacting you as well?
Oh yeah. What?
Honestly, Paul, the best thing you can do is reply to him. It's great. Okay. Don't reply to spam emails, folks. Please don't do that. Because only it's open the world of hurt. But one of the unread emails that we are about to open today, Paul, is an email regarding The Last of Us Season 2. Episodes 5 and Episode 6. Yeah, funnily enough, did you not get the email from Craig?
I thought it was going to be asking me how my holiday was.
Oh. Well, I guess I have to ask you what your holiday was like. How was your holiday, Paul?
Oh, thanks for asking, Joseph. That's really lovely of you. Well, I was on a cruise ship and I was out to
Were
sea.
you?
Oh, yes, for 10 whole days.
Mm.
I was just on a ship. And you know what I realised about being on a ship, Joseph?
What did you realize about being on a ship, Paul?
Every day, at all times of the hour, all the time, I am just surrounded by seamen. And in the morning, there's seamen. At the poolside, there's seamen.
Seaman?
And at dinner, there is seamen.
You bet your ass there's seaman. What about when
Oh,
you go to
yeah.
sleep?
Oh, there was an abundance of semen everywhere. And I was like, after a couple of days of that, I was like, I'm sleeping
It's
elsewhere.
only so much. There's only so much a man can take, you know.
Well, at least before it starts overflowing.
No, we need to stop. We're never going to be allowed to do this again.
My holiday was lovely. That's how
Yeah.
that's the crux of it. There we go.
Yeah, the seaman aside, your holiday was great.
Yes, it was. My holiday was lovely. All the seamen swept to one side. Yes.
No, the big broom. Oh, horrible. So, Paul, we need to be serious here because
Okay, right.
we're talking about a serious topic here. We're talking about zombies. We're talking about the apocalypse. We're talking about The Last of Us Season 2 on Now TV. The past two episodes, episode 5, episode 6, we're going to go over both in detail. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, young and old, please, this is your spoiler-free thoughts on the episode. Once we've gone through that, we are going to give you your a full spoiler review. So after that point, go away, watch the episodes if you haven't already, come back, listen to our dulcet tones and Paul's waterlogged trunks that I don't know where I'm going with that. Come back after that and we'll give you a spoiler warning just before we delve into things as well. Also, please forgive the rustiness that is myself never hosting a podcast before. We'll try this. So, Paul, what were you? Let's go for episode 5 first. Episode 5, titled "Feel Her Love." How did you? What was your non-spoiler thoughts about this episode?
I did not feel the love. Her love. I did not feel the love. That's what I was.
You did not feel the
thoughts.
love.
I was thinking that there was overall in episode 5 a couple of cool bits here or there. Other than that, totally sort of washed over me. It wasn't a whole lot to see. I think I liked the start.
Yeah.
And I think I liked the end.
But the middle bits were not for you.
Yeah, I feel like it was just kind of all blending into a bit of a.
It's like you took a bite of the Tesco meal deal sandwich and all the filling fell out for you.
Oh yeah, no, the filling was just cardboard,
See, I know what you mean because I'm kind of inclined to not fully agree with you on episode 5. My non-spoiler thoughts would be I enjoyed moments of it, but I don't feel it was the strongest episode of the season so far. There's a few things that I think, for me at least, because I've played the game, you have not, Paul. I feel that this is one of the points where the adaptation is falling short of the game for me, and I think I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it more than you did, potentially, because I kind of know what's happening and what has happened behind the scenes, within the story. But I think there's the point in the story where we're at in episode 5 doesn't feel as fleshed out as it did in the game, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do.
That's my thoughts.
I do enjoy that. I feel like I've been proven right about something that I said previously, which I will go into once we are in spoiler territory. But yeah, I feel like something I said. I'm proven right about. So yeah, we'll see.
Ooh, not very often that Polysmack is right on this podcast, but with Andrew gone, we might have a lot more Polysmack being right.
Oh yeah.
And what about episode 6? Talk to me about episode 6. Non-spoiler thoughts. Episode 6, titled "The Price."
Episode 6, baby, was I think I can sum up my thoughts on episode 6 by saying I think we have missed a certain actor, and seeing this actor here. I don't know if this is a spoiler, so this is why I'm dancing around it. But if we are in spoiler territory, I'm going to treat it as a spoiler.
We're not in spoiler territories just yet. We're not there. We're not there.
But if this is a spoiler, I'm just going to leave it out and just say I think this was one of the better episodes, and I think this actor's presence is the reason why.
Very interesting, Paul. Because we have had Mum call in and send a little list of chores to do in the house while she's away. We do have a voice note from one Craig Andrew Mooney that we'll play after I've given my non-spoiler thoughts about episode 6. So we'll see if Craig's viewpoint aligns with yours, Paul. Spoilers, it might do. For me, episode 6 was fantastic. For those of us who have played the game, these scenes are very, very, very incredibly close to how they play out within the game. But there's a deviation with sort of the tail end of the episode. And I really, really want to speak about it, but I don't think I can because of spoilers for the series as a whole and for the game as a whole. My feeling is I hope that putting that scene there in episode 6 gives a similar payoff as it did in the game, because all these scenes weren't together in the game, Paul. They were happening like chapters apart.
Okay.
So each sort of point was a chapter apart, I believe. But we're dodging to spoiler territory here. We're dancing around it, Paul. We don't want to get to it just yet. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to play a lovely little voice note from a one Craig Andrew Mooney, and let's hear what his spoiler thoughts are.
Craig Andrew Mooney here, giving you my spoiler thoughts on episode 5 and 6 of The Last of Us. Sorry I couldn't make it this week, guys. As always, I do regret not being able to join you, especially to talk about episode 6. Sorry, guys, but fuck episode 5. Episode 5, I don't even remember it. I'm not going to lie, I remember no fucking detail from episode 5, none at all, because it has been completely eclipsed by what is potentially one of the best hours of television that I have watched. I don't know, I can't give a time frame on it, but one of the best hours of television I've watched. Episode 6 of The Last of Us Season 2. That is better than the Bill and Frank episode. That is, in terms of writing and acting, that's better than episode 2 of Season 2, which we thought was, on spectacle-wise, scale-wise, it's really cool. But this is the best episode of the season so far. Episode 6 is the best episode of the season so far. I was utterly spellbound by that episode. The writing was impeccable. It gave weight to something that we'd seen in a previous episode, which I'm sure you'll talk about. I'm going to give you a clue. The guitar and the song. Amazing. That is peak writing. High-end writing. To make a call back to something that we've already seen there's a flash. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. The acting. Pedro Pascal. We miss you, mate. We miss you. And here's my point to you all. This is my overarching thoughts of Season 2 of The Last of Us. That was the best episode of the season so far because of Joel and Ellie. Now, I know I've not played the game, and I know I'm speaking from a probably ridiculous standpoint here, but they killed Pedro too soon. in terms of the show, the magic of the show has slightly lost because of it. And that's further proof of it. That episode was fucking sublime. It is the best episode of the season by a country mile. And that is the problem.
Okay, so that was Mr. Mooney's thoughts on both episodes. Paul, any rebuttal from the floor?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm quite as super into the episode as Mr. Mummy Mooney is, but yeah, I think I agree with a lot of his points. Is basically it's one of the better episodes for sure, and we're feeling the absence of Pedro Pascal's presence, and I think we could be doing with a bit more Pedro, and they killed him perhaps a bit too early.
Yeah, I can see where you're both coming from with it. I think you're wrong because you need not you per se, Paul. I think Craig's wrong. Don't tell him, but I think he's wrong on this. The whole thing about killing Joel too early. I mean, it happens right at the start of the show for a reason. It's a plot point you can't really work around, I'm afraid. So that's kind of something you've just got to be happy with.
I feel like the deviation from the game could have been deviated enough to make this end of season 2 thing possibly. Because apparently I've seen stuff that says there's going to be 4 seasons of this if they can get it.
Yes.
So I'm kind of like we've had 1 full season of Pedro, and we get like 3, maybe 4 episodes in this season of him, and that's it. He's gone. He's gone. So I'm like,
so I've got something to say about that, but before I do, it might, because we might have to fully dance over the line into spoiler territory, Paul. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give yourself and the lovely listeners your spoiler warning. This is the point of no return. If you have not watched episodes 5 and 6 of The Last of Us, and if you've not played, well, if you've not played the game, I'm terribly sorry, we might spoil things for you. We're going to try not to. Go away, watch the episodes, come back, and we'll give you our spoiler thoughts on both of these episodes. If you've not played the game, there could potentially be spoilers for the game, but I'm going to try and keep it spoiler free because Papa Andrew has taught me well. So, in regards to the season things, Paul, the way I think that yourself and Craig could have been a bit happier is by the pacing of the scenes in episode 6. Those are spread out through the game across different chapters. I think there could have been a bit more of a... they could have been drawn out across different episodes. So instead of lumping them all in at once in one episode, yes, making for a fantastic hour of television, they could have happened across the series as a whole. Do you think that would have impacted the episode's effectiveness at all in your mind for episode 6?
We definitely would have gotten used to having flashbacks more. Because we were just sort of flashbackified and like, whoa,
yeah,
I don't know if it's my favorite technique in a series is when we're having this big plot point and then no, we gotta take a little detour over here first. Remember back here, and I wouldn't say that the flashback is all that relevant to like episode 5, other than it's about Joel.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just kind of like, remember this stuff we were all talking about at the start, why she was all angry and everything? Let's talk about that now, just while she's about to beat this soldier to death. And I'm like, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. We really want to talk about episode. Let's quickly talk about episode 5.
Okay.
Because
that of which we can remember of it.
Yeah, that we can remember. So, episode 5, Feel Her Love. Fantastic opening to the episode with what's her puss? I've forgotten her name. Coming in to that little the one of the leaders of the wolves, the WLFs, interrogating an officer about the team she's lost, and this portion brings back something that there was a fair bit of criticism about in the first season of the show, because in the game the cordyceps do not infect people with like the wiggly little worm things that come out. They're infected through bites, and they're also infected through spores in the air. And in the first game, there's many scenes where you have to go through a spore-infested area, and Joel, or in the second game, Dina and Ellie will don a gas mask to prevent them inhaling the spores. And I think the way the VFX team portrayed this in the episode, what with like almost that coral-like growths of the fungus of the walls, the almost, you know, like the dust motes in the air, but those spores, I think it was fantastic.
I got my own straight flashbacks to Will Turner's dad in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Part of the ship, part of the crew. That's kind of what I was expecting them to say. Part of the mush, part of the room.
Part of the mush. Oh, no. So the way that Ellie gets out of all of this is like she has to play liar's dice with like a big infected.
With a big mushroom, yes.
Big mushroom with a big mushroom beard.
With a big mushroom beard and a big mushroomy voice. Just, do you fear? Do you fear fungus, Ellie?
Ellie, you're a liar and a cheat, and you'll spend an eternity in this hospital. So
20 years before the stalk.
20 years before the stalk. So bar the imagery of the Flying Dutchman in Pirates of the Caribbean, fantastic series, by the way. Bar that imagery, what did you think of this bit of lore, this bit of world building for the series?
I like we're being introduced to more zombie types, or way you can be infected. I feel like that's what we're missing a little bit. I like to see variety in the ways in which you can die horribly. So I like that.
Good.
And I appreciated this little scene. As little that it did last. I didn't think it was very. I mean, I know she was being chased by Ellie with a gun. I didn't think it was very clever of the soldier who knows that she's about to run into that and just ran straight in and is pretty much dying almost immediately. Just like, oh no, you found me.
It's pretty much like very similar beat for beat for how it happens within the game, and I think if I remember correctly, it's like you chase her for a lot longer, and then you corner her, and she's like, okay, either I die here or I die, but I can take Ellie out with me. Because once you go into those spore areas, you're fucked. There's no coming back from that.
Okay.
So, which is something like we didn't quite touch on last episode, when we have the reveal of Ellie reveals to Dina that she's immune. That's how it happens in the game. One of the gas masks break, and she has to give Dina her gas mask. So there's that instead. Would you have preferred that in the show, or like the way they did it in the previous episodes?
I feel like that's quite a good way of doing it, the gas mask way. That's good, but you definitely need to put across the spores first, and they obviously hadn't really introduced them till this episode.
Yeah.
So I guess it maybe just was the way things were fitting with their writing and pacing. So I guess, but I think the gas mask thing sounds like quite a good way of doing it.
Yeah. So like it's like that. Those points are so prominent in the game, and then they have that area where like Ellie starts to weaponize it almost to take out It's not Nora. What's the character's name?
Big Nora.
Can't remember her name. It's not Big Nora. Anyway, so overall, the hospital scenes you enjoyed.
Yeah, like the underground hospital scene was fine. It was cool. I liked the dude who felt her love all over his chest, by way of a scythe knife thing.
So the scene in the woods where the Scars had one of the WLFs tied up and he was gutted rather ingloriously. So this is a part of the episode that I believe has diverged a fair bit from the game. So
Okay.
we'll get to that point. So like after like the start where we see they've lost a team, we come back to Dina and Ellie inside the theater, and Dina's doing her trigonometry stuff. She's paid attention in standard grade maths, and she knows how to plot things on a map. For me, this is a point where I'm starting to have
that was all
an issue.
witchcraft. I won't lie. Like that was.
So Paul, maths
trigonometry.
is something like numbers. You know what a number is, right?
Yeah, honestly, Joseph, the more you talk, the more like we had witch trials here in Scotland, and I would have been the first one to send you to them. So this is. I went, that guy right there. He's guilty.
Paul was like, right, gotta get up in the morning, report my fair share of witches.
There we go.
The witch trials were an awful thing that happened in Scottish and British history. They should not be taken lightly. A lot of people died. But Paul was reporting them, apparently. So Dina's witchcraft. They are clearly plotting a route through Seattle toward the hospital so Ellie can take her revenge. The relationship that's building between Dina and Ellie, how are you finding it progressing? Because I think Craig is not happy with it.
To be honest, I don't really care. It's kind of just it's so weird because I know you guys think I do a bit, but I'm like, oh wow, this is actually one of the more interesting bits. It tends to be the romance part if it's done well, a la Monmouth. But well, I suppose Monmouth was not really a romance thing, but it's just. But goodness me, I would romance her. Anyway, Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, Fisk was a better example. The Fisk and Vanessa stuff is what gets me going in Daredevil,
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just I'm more interested in zombies and revenge.
Yeah.
It's and I don't know if it's just. Don't get me wrong. Like some of the scenes have been good, like the guitar scenes and whatnot. But I don't know. It's just I feel like it for me between.
It's not
like,
gripping you.
It's not gripping me between like cults and military operations and revenge stories and zombies. It's just the bit that's not really landing as much for me.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Polysmack, no time for romance anymore. Shame. For me, I think it's. I don't think the romance plot line is like the main one. It's like a C plot line at this point because there's much more prominent things happening. The thing that I am not gelling with is, and I've seen a lot of people have. There's so much hate coming from the vocal minority of fans against Bella Ramsey. Just leave them the fuck alone, please. Bella Ramsey's doing a fantastic job. They're taking direction. They're doing their job as an actor. Fucking leave them alone, you dicks.
I do
Public service announcement over.
I do remember actually years ago, when she was in Game of Thrones, wasn't she?
Mm.
I do remember actually. Everyone like was on the hype train for Bella Ramsey because.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff.
It's because there's like there's people who just actively like to hate things, Paul, and not you hate things,
well, there's nothing wrong
hater.
with a little bit of hate, come on.
Yeah, but you like it. Your hate for things is maybe about 40% oh, I don't like how they've changed it from the childhood thing that I know and love. And 60%, how much is this going to fuck off, Andrew? That's your hate makeup. Whereas there's a lot of people who are like, it's a woman, I must hate it. On the internet, especially there was a lot of hate for the game, the second game that came out, especially towards the actors portraying both Abby and Ellie in places, especially Abby. And I think it's just another. We're not political, but fucking guys, give them a break. They're just doing their job. I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna get sidetracked. I'm just gonna get annoyed at people.
We've not even got to episode 6 yet.
We've not even got to episode 6. This is going to be a weird one. For me, I'm not enjoying how they are changing Ellie and Dina's dynamic. I think it feels like Ellie has been dumbed down a wee bit from the game because it's like Dina's doing the more smarter stuff. I just kind of want them to build that dynamic more, and I think it's going to be difficult for them to do with only like 50-minute hour time slots. To learn the characters as opposed to the game where like Ellie was essentially you being smart and solving things, and I think people are struggling to see themselves in Ellie, and that's okay, but I want her to have a bit more character agency within the scenes, as opposed to just revenge.
I don't think it's helped per se. I get where they're going in terms of story arc, but I don't think it's helped that we're just from episode 1 from this season from the get-go. I feel like we've not been into Ellie because I feel like she's just been acting out, and that's fine for like a character arc. But if Ellie is then going to be the main character of which we are following, I think that can affect how people enjoy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I feel like out of all the episodes so far, this one felt a bit rushed to me. As in, like, not rushed as in made, but rushed as in plot. Like, I will say, the episode looks fantastic. It's shot beautifully. Like, the sound design, the lighting, the camera, all aspects of it are brilliant. I just think the narrative beat that we're in this point in the show needs longer, and I think it's just down to they've been commissioned for X amount of episodes. They need to get to the story beats they need to get to throughout the season, and I think it's just one of the things that has suffered because it was a lower priority. That's really it. So after we've had all that, we get the little guitar scene with Ellie starting to sing a song that I've forgotten.
Kumbaya, my lord. No.
Paul, did you when you were in school? Complete tangent. When you were in school, did you also have a priest or vicar or whatever come to your school and do like God's Jesus songs on a acoustic guitar?
I'm sure we did at some point. I'm sure we did. I just remember someone actually they had a guitar and came in and just went, here's a little song about someone you might know, and then he just went, he's a Gruffalo, 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 he's the Gruffalo. And it was like, you never seen one of those scenes in like South Park where all the children are just like staring in disbelief and they don't really say anything. It was kind of like that, where the silence was booming.
And in that moment, you saw your future in educational theatre.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
that is
fantastic.
What inspired me. That is what
that moment there.
That moment
wow.
right there.
A Polysmack origin story.
A Polysmack origin. But do you know what is also a Polysmack thing? Is you have neglected to ask me, Joseph, about
what have I neglected?
The thing I was right about.
What was the thing you were right about?
The thing I was right about.
What was the thing you were right about?
Well, one of my favourite scenes, there's only like 2 in this episode, was when they're in right at the start and they go explore and they go, oh look, there's one of the smart ones. We're going to have to outsmart them. Oh no, there's like 8 of them. We're all going to die. So she's like saying, "You go, I'll be fine." As she gets clawed by like three of them, and then there's a Deus Ex Jack. His name's Jack, right? Jack?
No.
No, Jake. Jimmy.
No.
Johnson.
No. No. Keep going.
Jamal.
No, you'll get it. Come on. Jamal? No.
Jamal.
No. Jedward.
Jedward. No.
Jedward. No, it's not Jedward.
Is it?
Come on, Paul. Come on, Paul. You've got this.
Jason.
No. Think.
Jay.
Think big RV. Think cooking something.
Cooking RV. Cooking with
not food, but something
Jim?
else.
Jizz.
His best friend's called Walter.
Walter. Jite. No.
Jesse.
Jesse. Ah.
Jesse.
Damn it. Deus Ex Jesse.
Yeah,
anyway.
you were right about the Deus Ex Jesse coming in saving them. So
is that
in the game?
Is that a moment in the game? I was just gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, but it's different. So I believe that the reintroduction of Jesse in the story, in the game towards the end of the hospital, Jesse emerges to catch Ellie, and then that's how they kind of get back together. But in the show, he's obviously appears and helps Dina and Ellie escape from the stalkers. So that whole bit where they go through the Seraphite wood and Dina gets shot with the arrow, that doesn't happen. That's Ellie that gets shot with the arrow, and we have to like pull the arrow out of herself. Fucking grim. So like that whole introduction is slightly different, but it also does tell us that Tommy is in Seattle as well, which is like one of the big divergences from the game that we've seen already, because spoilers for Last of Us Part 2, the video game. If you want to avoid these spoilers, just skip ahead about a minute or so. Within the game, I believe Ellie and Dina go after Tommy and Jesse. They go ahead first because Tommy's like, I'm gonna go on a revenge path here. Which
rampage.
Which that change might change some things later down the road. But we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of one of the changes there. We will hopefully see Tommy later. We hope. You're not happy with that, are you? The Jesse's back.
Oh no, I felt vindicated. I felt that's vindicated. The thing. I was right. Yeah, because my prediction, they're going to be a throuple.
So they are going to be a throuple.
They're going to be a throuple. That was my prediction. Remember, the Ellie and Dina and Jesse Eisenberg. They're all going to be a throuple with the baby.
So, with that, I repose a question to you: Who's mum and who's dad?
I guess Dina's mum, and
I guess Dina's mum,
and Jesse and Ellie are like co-dad.
So yeah, what else is there to say about this episode? There's not. We get to see a bit of Ellie and Dina sneaking through. We get to see the stalkers. I still think they're doing them very well, nice and creepy. We get to see the Seraphites do some horrible butchering, and then we get to see Ellie's rampage through the hospital, which we've kind of touched on. That last scene where she hunts down
Big Nora.
Good old Nora. Big Nora. And then beats her with a pipe. Thoughts, Mr. Smack?
I would have been inclined to use a golf club, but yeah, that's fine. That'll work.
Certainly.
Oh, you mean the scene? Yes. No, the pipe. Yeah. No, that was good. Yeah. No, I think turnaround's fair play in this world. So yeah, that's to use a very American term. That's very American.
Very American.
Yeah, very American. I don't know. Sorry, I've been on a cruise with a lot of Americans recently. But really just lovely. But not the beatdown, not the beatdown with the lead pipe. It was Ellie in the spore room with the lead pipe.
With the lead pipe.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Murder solved.
Yep.
This is one of those sequences that is almost shot for shot from the game. For me, I don't think it was as powerful as the game. I think, like, it just didn't hit as well. It didn't, funnily enough, hit as hard. But I still think it was quite a very strong ending to the episode, especially when it's capstoned by that lovely moment where we see, back in the past, Joel open the door to Ellie's room, and then we know that the next episode is going to fucking hurt. Which brings us smoothly, Paul, to episode 6. The price.
Just before
we move in.
Just before we move in, one last thing. I guess I wasn't paying attention, or I don't know, or maybe the episode was just bad or boring at this part. Okay. See, after Dina had been shot in the leg and they like somehow escape the cult.
Yeah.
How does Ellie just end up in the military building and find Nora?
So what happens is she turns away from Jesse and Dina and sees that there is like they're nearby to the hospital, and she decides to go there anyway.
So they knew the hospital was like their base.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, they were nearby.
Yeah, they were close.
Yeah. So that's what happens there.
All right. Okay.
Is that cleared up?
I was just like, huh? How are you here? Like what? Why is she holding
I can see why that's confusing. I also had to go, wait, hold on. Have we jumped a bit? I'm glad they didn't kill the dog.
Oh, that was one of my negatives actually, but never mind. We'll move on.
Oh, famed dog hater, Polly Smack.
That's right.
You can.
I am
what was your email again? What was your email again, Paul? So they can add to those 34,000 unread emails.
Well, I've not looked. I do get a lot of hate mail. So.
So if you want to at Polysmack, we'll post his email somewhere. But moving swiftly on. Smack your email over to Polysmack, and we will deal with that later. Moving on to episode 6, The Price, a wonderful adaptation of all of the flashbacks we get throughout the game to these moments that Ellie had growing up with Joel. Craig seems to be overjoyed with this. Now,
enamored, one might say.
Enamored, yes. He says it's better than episode 3 of season 1, which I think is still better than this one.
That was Bill and Ted.
For a few reasons. Yeah, Bill and Ted's episode. Yeah.
It is Bill and Ted, right?
No, it's Bill and Frank.
Oh, what's Bill and Ted again?
Is he doing a bit? That's the Keanu Reeves in what's his film?
No way.
Yes way.
That's Bill and Ted, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
I don't know when he's doing a bit. I don't know when you're doing a bit, Paul, and it terrifies me because normally I used to be able to tell when you were doing a bit, but now I don't know. I'm constantly questioning who you are.
I've still got the ship head. I don't know if that's a word for it, but like when I sway, I can feel like I'm on a ship still. So I don't know if that's doing something. Making me more unpredictable.
Paul, you still think you're at sea. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm lost at sea. Won't somebody help me?
Paul's coming to you live from a hammock in a boiler room.
I'm just like, I'm on a dinghy, I'm on the ocean. I've somehow got recording equipment for the podcast.
You somehow got internet in the middle of the fucking ocean.
You're my beach ball. That's what you are.
I'm your Wilson.
Wilson! Joseph!
Not the first time someone has screamed my name angrily out loud. And it will not be the last.
And not be the
Oh my.
last, I'm sure.
No.
Promises.
It's never fun for anyone. Promises? No, it's a certainty. The episode 6, The Price. I don't think I'm as enamored with this episode as other people are. But let me explain, because this is the point where if I'd said that and our usual host was here, he'd go, what? You know, that's what would happen. It's like Andrew was almost here. For me, the scenes were done fantastically. The scenes were as I remember them from the game. I do not think, within the context of someone who's played the game, who's loved the game, I do not think they all worked as well in sequence as they did spread out. And that is my first criticism of the episode. My second one is a little bit fantasy booking. It's like they couldn't have left this scene out. The last scene, now this is big spoilers for the game. The last scene with Joel and Ellie on the porch doesn't happen there. This happens at the end of the game. And I mean the very, very, very end of the game.
So that was actually the original ending, is it, the flashback?
That's how the game. So that's not how obviously the story ends, but that's the last thing as viewers we see, which for me changes the impact of that last scene.
Okay.
Because we see in this scene, in this episode, in episode 6, that Ellie didn't have an awful last conversation with Joel. There was some reconciliation. And you play the game not knowing this. You go through everything that Ellie's about to go through without knowing this, and you still think that you have that, but then you get this at the end of the game. I don't like that change because of how the ending of the game made me feel.
Okay.
But Paul, as someone who has not played the game, what is your more important thoughts on this episode? How that ending made you feel?
I can see how all of those scenes could have been like an individual flashback sort of, but the various birthdays. I think the last scene, that was some really good stuff. All the great acting chops that you want. Especially, I gotta give it to Pedro, man. He is acting his little socks off, and they were great. Yeah, I was expecting to see like little Grogu coming out as well. It was all that emotional, just bringing it,
Fuck off. Don't you invoke Mando here? Don't you invoke Mando under this umbrella, this tear-stained umbrella? Fuck off. So we get the start of the episode where we see. I'm moving past you. I'm not giving you any more time on that.
Yeah, you're not giving it air.
No, I'm not giving it air. We see right at the start of the episode, we see a flashback to Joel's youth, his days in Texas, where we have he is kind of trying to take the fall for something that Tommy has done. The point of what he's done, it doesn't matter. It's about how he's dealing with his dad in the scene. His dad, a police officer, a Texas police officer, Javier Miller, played fantastically by Tony Dalton, who I never get tired of seeing Tony Dalton in things. Well, there's Hawkeye.
Well, there is that.
There
But
is
other
that.
than that,
But other than that, besides that, Tony Dalton, fantastic portrayal, and I think that scene it's one of the, I think why Craig is touting the writing as brilliant is because of how cyclical this episode feels. You have that scene that starts it. You have that moment of I'm just trying to do better than my own father did.
Is that in
Tony
the
Dalton's
games?
character? No, so this is brand new.
Okay.
I believe, yeah, I think it's brand new. So we don't see this in the game. This is a lovely little moment between, which kind of like adds more to Joel's character, gives more credence to how protective he is, and how he's just trying to do better than those who came before him, which I think is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. And then it's bookended at the end with that lovely, lovely, lovely scene on the porch, where you just it kind of like gives all of Joel's reasonings that nice bit of closure for this character's arc. What did you think of that opening scene, Paul? How do you feel? Did it add to the character of Joel? Did it add to the overall tone of the episodes? What's your thoughts?
Just given how they were talking at the start, I think I was probably expecting what most people were expecting, is father comes home, they sort of tries to cover, and then he's gonna take the beating for his brother.
Mm-hmm.
The monologue is actually a lot better, I feel like, because I'm sure at some point we've watched a movie and we've seen that kind of thing. But this was like, look, I know I get out of line, but this was how my dad was. And he like tells this gruesome story about dad breaking his jaw, having to be wired shut. Is crazy. But yeah, no, and then he's like, I just hope, and then I think you're right. Yeah, the cyclical nature is that he's just saying, look, I know I was not the best dad ever. I just hoped I was better than him. I hope you'll be better than me. And then he's sort of passing that along to Ellie. And so I thought it was really good. Also, I just want to put this some more Tony Dalton love out there. He's, I think, the most underrated and perhaps best James Bond out there. I really like his films.
Ooh,
he was really good. Which one is he in again?
Is he James Bond?
On his no, he is James Bond. On his Majesty's Secret Service.
I thought you. I don't. Are you doing a bit, Paul?
Oh shit! Sorry, that's Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton. Never mind.
Fucking throw something at you. I thought you were being like, oh, he's a good shout for James Bond.
Oh.
And I'd be like,
no.
that'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting, but no.
No.
Not I have anything against him, but no.
Any more shite like that for you, and there's nae more Sonic 2, okay?
Oh no! Don't do that. Just follow me. Set me free. Trust me.
Trust me, Paul. We'll escape from the city.
Yeah.
So moving swiftly along. We then are treated to a series of flashbacks throughout this episode. Flashbacks to each of Ellie's birthdays growing up while in Jackson as part of this new community, as part of navigating that new sort of like daughter, not dad relationship where they're just kind of like trying to fall into some semblance of normalcy. The first one, we'll talk about them each by each. We see Joel has managed to acquire Lego to give to Seth, so Seth can bake Ellie a birthday cake. And
the
Joel,
old Lego bribe.
The old Lego bribe. I mean, nowadays, I think a Lego bribe would be great.
Oh, yeah.
So, listeners,
if you wish
that
to bribe
Rivendell
us,
set is pretty sweet. If you wish to bribe us, the Rivendell Lego set.
And if you can get your hands on any like original, not any of this new nonsense, some like original Lego Star Wars shit. You know,
Oh,
you said
Paul,
that
I
forever.
bet you is your one the original Cloud City Lego set with the
Oh,
Lando, the
now you're
Lando reversible
no, the
cape. Yeah, yeah,
Lando.
yeah,
Oh yeah, now you're
yeah.
speaking my
hmm
language, Joseph.
I know. I remember hearing someone managed to find one of them at like a car boot sale,
Oh,
like, and they got it for fucking dirt cheap
oh
as
my
well.
God. Oh yeah, that's
And
the legends
that's
we
awful.
love here.
That is
Yeah.
the legends. That's the legend we want to. What's your White Whale Lego set? Let us know in the comments. So we see Joel trades Lego for a cake. Perfect bartering system. We need to go back to that as a society. And he surprises Ellie with, quite frankly, a beautifully restored guitar that he's clearly taken the strings off of his guitar for, to remake.
Sketches on Mothra.
And he puts Mon Mothma on
Oh,
the bridge
Mon.
of the
Yeah,
guitar.
yeah, that's it.
Mon Mothma. My Mothma for English, not in French. The what do you think about the way Ellie was introduced in this scene? Like how she rocked up with all high on life and painkillers, and she's burned her arm. We see why she's done that, so she can wear short sleeves again. Like, how do you feel the relationship? Like, talk to me about this scene, Paul. Talk to me about the scene.
Goodness, it's nice to see Ellie like somewhat happy again, isn't it? Or just goofy,
Yeah.
like being a kid. So it was such a stark contrast to the start of this season, and it was definitely feel like this whole episode needed. That is like, oh yeah, everything's good. They're living life, they're doing fun. I didn't realize it was actually that long between first season and second season. They've been here for a few years.
Yeah.
So they're getting along. She's done something a little daft to try and cover up a bite mark, I assume it was.
Yeah, so it's the bite mark on her arm that she's covering up.
I assume there was that, and then yeah. So, but she's a bit high on painkillers. It's all good though. It's still very much this father-daughter sort of relationship, all going well. And then we find the dinosaur. We find a dinosaur in the woods.
Yeah, the
And
next birthday scene. Yeah.
mhm.
The before we jump into that, one of the things that the first part of this flashback happens at the prologue, I believe, of the game. It's framed differently from the game itself. In the game, it's just another night after Joel has spoken to Tommy about what happened at the end of the first game. But I think it's really nice the way they've framed it as this is one birthday, this is a second birthday, this is the next one. I think it's an easier jump for audiences to connect, like the time scales. And choice of song, Paul, would you have played Pearl Jam's Future Days to your adoptive daughter? Or would you have played a different song?
I think I would have played no, 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 no. No, no, there's no limit. No, 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 no. Techno, 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 techno.
Okay.
I think that would I think that would mean a
That
lot
would,
more to me.
yeah. Personally, I think Agadoo by Black Lace. I think that would have been a perfect song to
Push pineapple, shake the tree.
What song would you have played in Joel's stead? Let us know in the comments below. Moving on. The birthday gift with the museum, the dinosaur in the woods. This, of all of the flashbacks in this episode, I think this is the one that is most recreated. Like it's a near 1-to-1 of how I remember the game, and watching this made me feel how you feel playing the game. I think there's a bit of a skip in it, if I remember, from like where Ellie and Joel reach the museum. There's a couple of bits I am sad from the game. Spoilers for the video game. There's a moment when you are there. I'm pretty sure this is very early on in the game. There's like a moment where you look at yourself in the mirror as Ellie, and you're like, you can muck around with your facial expressions, and it's like a big old tech demo almost for the game, and it's lovely. But there's also this wonderful moment where Joel and Ellie pick up these explorer hats in the museum and leave them on dinosaurs, which I wished they'd had it in there, but it does not in any way negatively affect the episode. They go to the space exhibit, the space exhibition, which has, it is so accurate to the game. Starting with like the orrery room, the big the solar system model,
the oral room.
No,
huh?
That's a different room, Paul. That's a different room.
Okay.
Stop thinking you're on the cruise. There's semen in my oral room.
It wasn't that kind of cruise. Well done, you got with that.
Oh dear! I was about to go talk about the overgrown rocket in the space exhibition.
The rocket, the big rocket.
Yeah, so Paul, talk to me about the moment where where Joel and Ellie find the is Apollo 15 capsule, and that whole sequence, because this is maybe the second or third time I've lived through this experience. You as a first time viewer seeing all this, what was your thoughts on this?
From finding the dinosaur to the the Apollo 15 capsule, it filled me with childlike wonder, and I was it was just like it's nice to have a nice scene in something like this in a dreadful zombie apocalypse world. It's nice to have some nice childlike wonder,
and you're getting to see Ellie be a child and be an actual, because like in the first game you had these little interactions throughout, spoilers, where you could you could pick up, she would tell you jokes, and you would like pick up, I believe, comics and stuff, and she would speak about space, and it was like a big this that she had, and this was a lovely payoff in the second game where you get to see this moment. Did you have any inclination that Ellie was that big on space from the first season?
I couldn't really recall, to be honest, but I've also been trying to recall who that is. It Jess lady is. The one that, like, they ran away
who had
with.
the zombie kiss.
Something like that. And then it was like, oh, Joel definitely killed her. But we don't really know what happened to her. But definitely Joel.
Marlene.
Marlene. Come on,
end
Marlene.
of the game.
Da. Oh, no.
No, we'll get copyright struck.
I don't know how many songs I've done now.
So Marlene, one of the Fireflies. Yeah, I've got Shiphead. If you want Shiphead from Polster.
Oh my God, no.
We need to stop. This pod's running too long already. We need to stop.
Okay.
I want to talk to you about the sequence where Paul, I want to talk to you about the sequence in the rocket where
Joseph.
There's that wonderful moment where Joel gives her the cassette tape and she listens to the Apollo 11 launch. In the game, we just get a long shot, just a long take of Ellie's reaction to it all. The lights and stuff were so accurate to the game itself, but in the show we get cutaways to Joel and like side shots of her like reacting to it all. I thought this was one of the most beautiful sequences in this season so far, and I felt a glimmer of hope. A glimmer of hope in this sad, fungal infected world where everything's gone to shit. It was utterly beautiful and such an understated moment where Joel, like, she answers Joel and is like, of course it's fucking brilliant, of course you did good, and Joel has that single tear that just made me agree with your point of, God, I miss Pedro. God, I miss Joel. But I don't think the show is worse off for it.
You had me there. You had me there for a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I had you hooked.
Yeah.
Trying to reel you in, but you've broken my line, Paul. Do you have any different thoughts about this? The dinosaur museum memory? Is there anything else you'd like to add before we move on to?
I really liked the transition with when she closed her eyes and she's it's like 10, 9, 8, and she actually feels like it's a rocket, taking off, and she'd fly away from this horrible planet and find a new one, maybe Mars or something, and then have to deal with the dreaded zombie Mars people.
Oh, the zombie Martians.
The zombie Martians. There you go. They're not just aliens; they're zombies as well. Yeah.
So, St. James Street James, if you're listening, zombie Martians. Myself and Paul Stewart can be the leads. It'll be a great film. Good sequel to your other films. But yeah,
we don't just get stuck on Mars. There's a zombie apocalypse on Mars.
There's a zombie apocalypse on Mars.
And the only way to solve it is gardening.
Gardening. But the zombies are also... They're also evil
British.
in some way. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Done.
Yeah, there we go.
They're Confederate zombies stuck on Mars. Oh God!
What's
what are we talking about?
Anyway,
what are we talking about?
What was the next birthday like?
So the next birthday was when she goes out on patrol. You essentially get the the next birthday was Pedro having a full-blown dad moment and bursting in. Joel bursts into Ellie's room as she is, in Joel's words, experimenting with another girl. But obviously we know that Ellie's gay, so this is not experimenting. There's a little bit of like she's 17, she's 19, that's a bad touch moment. And you can see that Joel knows it's a bad touch moment with the way he looks at the tattoo woman. What did you think of that scene, Paul? Because that was new.
Baby,
that was
sweat,
new. That
baby. There goes another song. Oh goodness me! You said
baby
bad
sweat.
Touch. No. You said the bad touch. So I was like, the mammal song. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
No. What? Actually, genuinely, the thought that came through my mind was, where on earth did they learn to do or get a tattoo? Equipment. I was like, I mean, it's cool, and I guess people have found ways to tattoo themselves for forever. But I was just like, wow, yeah, that seems like it would be difficult to find. But I guess if you raid a tattoo shop,
I mean, Joel found Lego.
I guess he found Lego. Yeah, I guess you can find whatever. You can find anything by breaking into people's homes.
That's true.
Lying around.
The With Mates podcast does not condone breaking into people's houses to find whatever you want to find. Please don't do that. That's illegal. Back to your regular scheduled program. This scene wasn't in the game, as far as I can remember. I don't think the start of the scene added anything, really. I didn't like Joel's sort of like, this is a weird, you're growing up, and I'm not sure if I'm okay with a gay daughter. I didn't really like... Maybe that's just what I was getting from the scene.
Mm-hmm. I felt like it was a good middle... I can see why they included it, because I feel like it's a good middle ground between childlike wonder, dinosaur museums. This is the last time we were really happy, kind of thing. To
Growing up
to
like
the
a
third
moth.
to the third one where it's like, oh my goodness, we hate each other now. Like, why are you even around me? So it's like that sort of nice middle ground where this is why I'm living in the garage because I want some privacy and
Mhm.
whatnot. And you're not really my dad. I'm gonna go live
Yeah,
in the
the
garage.
teen angst all at once, as Joel
All the
says.
angst, yes. So
Mhm.
he's gotten it all,
As
the drinking, the drugs, the tattoos, and the whatnot, the other stuff,
mhm,
and yeah. So
mhm.
I feel like
Yeah,
it was a good sort of middle ground way of
I think
and
it was a good
also
transitional flashback. Definitely.
also I don't mind the him being a bit weird with it as well,
Mhm,
or whatever it is you pick up on, because I feel
mhm.
like he's like adjusting to that
Yeah,
because it's
it's more like
that's
a dadhood thing happening as opposed
and it's
to
like
being bigoted.
that's new information, because as we then later on, that's probably why when he sees what's his puss when he's drunk in the barn dance
Oh
and
yeah.
start making his car, he's like, oh, now I can show like how I'll, it's still my daughter, I'm going to protect her, and then gets up and
hmm
shoves him because that's his way of
Yeah,
probably trying to be like, see, so like I
I'm
do
okay
like,
with this. Yeah.
and then of course
Mhm.
that does not go down well with Ellie, and then it just makes
You know
things
what?
worse. I get you.
You know what, Paul?
Have
True
I
to your
spoke?
moniker, I think you've smacked that opinion I had out of my head, and
There you go.
you've hooked me in. I agree with you. Yeah, you know what? You've turned me round. And when mum and dad are away, that's the reconciliation you have on the
There
With
you
Mates
go.
podcast.
Not
um,
not just smacking fools, but smacking opinions too.
exactly. He's a man of many talents.
He is.
The scene there transitions into like what I think is one of my favorite scenes in the episode, starring Catherine O'Hara, because
Mm.
I watch her and I go, where are you acting? You're just there. That is just you. Like, you know, there's points in where like I'm watching like Dina or Ellie. I'm going, oh, you're acting there. You're acting there. I saw you. I saw you do it. And then there's a few times you're watching Pedro and you're like, oh, you thought you could get me. You thought you could make me think you weren't acting. You were acting there,
Ah,
and then you watch Catherine O'Hara, and you're like, "Where the fuck is where's it? Where's the zipper? Where's the zipper up the back? Where are you hiding your acting talents? Because that is just. I think she's fantastic. Paul,
mm.
do you agree? Catherine O'Hara,
Oh
fantastic.
yeah, yeah. No, she's been great in this, and in general is a really, really good,
Mm.
talented actress. But yeah,
The
no, she's
the whole the whole moth bitty with that Joel speaking to her. I thought that was so funny.
mm.
I thought it was so funny being like, oh, it's about dreams, and Catherine O'Hara, she's just like, what's her name? Gail? Gail's just like,
Mm.
I don't give a fuck about dreams, mate. Um, I love how
They're all
flippant she
crackpot
is.
doctors. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a
She's like,
real one.
I don't give a fuck about being a psychiatrist, but yet here I am. I, I just want to grow old and smoke weed. But you fuckers keep coming to me with your problems. I love Gail. I love Gail so much, which makes the next sequence so much tougher to watch because we get to
Birthday
see
number 3.
birthday number 3, which was her 18th birthday, I believe.
Mm. Well, in the previous
Um,
one, she was 17, so presumably,
yeah, that's how time works.
I guess.
um,
Presumably.
we we get to see the Joel take Ellie on her first scouting run, and we get to see the reason why Gail hates Joel, the whole what he did to Eugene, her husband. Um, this is completely different from the game. We do not get to see this in the game, but I think this sequence only added to the overall story.
Hmm.
I think this because this sequence shows you Ellie piecing everything together. Ellie pieces together that Joel has lied, not just about this, but about what happened in Salt Lake City with the Fireflies, all of the lies he told her about there was raiders, about how there was other people who were immune, to make himself or her feel better about, getting away. Um, in the game, completely different how she figures out how this all happens. I won't tell you how it's different because you might want to play the game. How did you feel about the way Ellie figures out this lie? How she essentially about the sequence as a whole, about how Joel kills Eugene, not giving him the chance to be escorted back to Jackson and say goodbye to his wife and hear her. How did you feel about that? How did you feel about Ellie realizing Joel's a liar? Talk me through your emotional response to this scene, Paul.
Well, first of all, I was humbled because my prediction was wrong. I thought Big
Whoa.
Eugene was gonna be one of those wolf pack people. Or a former one, and would have recognised something about Ellie or something like that. That's why
Paul,
they killed him.
I just wanted. This show's about zombies, not werewolves. Just so you know.
Ah, damn it! Is that where I'm going wrong?
He wasn't a wolf person. They're just called the wolves.
Oh, right, okay. Because I thought they ate the mushrooms, and then the moon turns full, and then like it's a mushroom werewolf. I thought, okay, that clears up a lot.
But keep that idea. We could use that anyway.
Zombie Martians, mushroom werewolves. Got it. Okay. It's going in the book.
It's going in the book.
Okay.
What do you feel about this whole sequence as a whole, with Joel taking Ellie on that scouting run, with her being flippant as usual until real danger comes in and they start acting like partners?
She perks up a little bit as soon as she finds out she's going on a run, but yeah, no, she's a bit reserved, but she was like talking to herself as well. You know, she's rehearsing these questions. Has obviously been playing on her mind. You get the impression she's put it all to one side in the first birthday. As she's growing up a little bit and thinking about things, you know, by the time the second birthday comes on, she's probably been thinking about it. Will I ask him? Will I not? This one, she's decided I'm going to ask him. And she's actually probably preparing to ask him in quite a nice way. And then they go out, and it's the best birthday ever for her because she's done nothing but want to have a gun and go out and shoot zombies. So they're off to do just that. Of course, Joel's taking them on the safest trip route possible. And then we see a wee horsey running by with its rider quite dead. And yeah, so I liked that their back and forth was like, it was sort of like this middle ground, but yeah, like they were not quite, because it's not as bad as it's gonna get, but it wasn't quite like scene one either, you know. It's like, okay, yeah, no, things are gonna be all right between us, and then the thing with Eugene sort of happens, played by, I don't know his name, but he always seems to play like traitorous characters. He's the traitor dude in The Matrix. You know The Matrix, don't
yes.
you?
Joe Pantoliano. Yes.
Joe Pantoliano.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe Pantoliano. Shout out to Joe Pantoliano.
There
If
you
you're
go.
listening, Joe, you've done good.
We see you.
We see you. We see you, Joe.
Yeah.
Did you expect how that whole sequence resolved itself with Joel lying to Gale and Ellie going, no, that's not how it happened? Because I did not expect it to play out that way. I thought she was going to stay silent and have like that silent realization of Joel's a fucking liar. But I really liked how they resolved that all and kind of made Joel to be out be morally bad as he is.
Really. I feel like I liked how they handled that, because I like how you would expect someone to handle that in private afterwards and say like, hey, you told me, I know that was a lie, and now we're gonna have out, but instead has this sort of meltdown because she's just had it. And of course now we know why Gail's kind of hating on Joel as well, so it was kind of hating on him. He hates him, for that, and yeah. So, but it's also it's not clear cut because he didn't just murder him, because there's like an asterisk in this world with that, you know, because Joel is a pragmatist. So on the one hand, I do get I totally get why Joel did what he did, and in certain circumstances, that's probably what I would do, because it's not smart to give the zombie the right, the chance to do
Yeah.
anything. But on the other hand, there's the human, and the
You weren't a zombie yet, though, Paul. You weren't a zombie.
but he was gonna be. He was gonna be, and you don't
Okay.
know when they turn. You know, it can be like that. It's see because this is the thing, right? You can live in Zombieland, and
Yeah.
you can give people like that, a chance to say a last goodbye. But you don't know what's going to happen along the way. You might get attacked. There was obviously zombies there. There might be more, and they might get attacked along the way back.
They weren't
And
going to like just let him wander along. They were going to tie him up.
But as that's happening, they might get attacked or something, and they'll be distracted, and then he might turn and then bite one of them.
Okay.
Stuff happens like in Zombieland, and the best way to make sure stuff doesn't happen, like bad stuff, is to
It's by killing people.
Is to be as pragmatic and as like, I have to make the tough decision here and now, and if that means I lead this guy off to a nice pier and tell him that I'll show him his wife and lie to Ellie, it means that's what I'm going to do, because that is what's going to keep Ellie and myself safer, because this guy's already dead, and
Yeah.
like, it's not like Joel is a monster, because he's like, I will pass along anything like you want to say, and I do get it. It was like he wanted to hear what his wife was going to say. I do get that, but also at the same time, it's like this isn't the normal world. This is Zombieland, and people that take chances like that in Zombieland are the ones that end up dying the fastest. So I think that's, yeah, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's something to keep in mind when eventually the zombies get us.
Yes.
In the real world. But before they do,
so
we're going to round off the episode.
So don't get bitten, Joseph, okay? Because otherwise,
I try my best not to. There's only one man that can bite me, and I'm speaking to him right now.
Well.
To round off the episode, Paul, we have spoken in drips and drabs about the last episode, the last scene on the porch. Is there anything? There's not a lot I can really say about it without going too far into spoiler territory that will be here for so long. Is there anything else you would kind of want to say about that scene? Is there any sort of, like, we've already spoken about how this acting was phenomenal in that last scene. I think the emotional beats that both Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal were hitting were phenomenal. Even just little micro details like the way Joel puts his mug down on the porch railing. I could watch that on loop. I think it was just a masterful bit of craft.
You know what? It's probably because it's got coffee in it, which is rare, and he really doesn't want to spill a single
really
drop.
Don't want to spill that coffee. Really don't want to spill that coffee.
Very gently places the coffee cup on the porch. Yeah, I liked that too. That was good.
Did you see this scene happen? Did you think that, as people who played the game do throughout the majority of the game, did you think that Ellie's last conversation with Joel was at the dance?
Yeah, I did. I thought up till this moment, I thought that was it. But I had throughout the episode, pretty much from because I almost thought the episode was going to end at the Gale bit, but then as soon as I saw her in the barn dance, I was like, right, okay.
We're going to have a reconciliation here.
I suspected we were going to have maybe not necessarily a reconciliation. I thought perhaps the conversation was still going to go sourly, but I thought that wasn't the last thing that they said.
Yeah. Would you, and now this is a bit of fantasy booking territory here.
Oh, well, you know me.
Think, we know you love it, Paul. Would you have preferred to see that scene at the end of the show?
I can see why that would be a great scene to show at the end of the show.
Mhm.
So instead of doing this all in one episode, we'd intersperse some of those scenes throughout the series,
The season. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. It's like if there's a way of doing that without it jarring within the episodes,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
doing a girthy
Ooh.
flashback like that
Mhm.
might detract from the episode and might be a bit too taking you out a little
Mhm.
bit. It's like, oh right, now he's alive, now he's not. Can see why it works in game. I don't know if it works.
Yeah.
Because they would have to be a lot shorter.
I think that's kind of their main reason for changing it, and I think it works. It works in the context of the show, and I think a lot of people are going to have umbrage with it because it's not how they remember. It's not like their game that they loved. I can't fault it. I can't fault it for this decision to change it. I cannot fault it for how they did it. I think just for me, it doesn't. I've seen people say, "Oh, this list completely lets down how the game ended." I'm like, no. It just recontextualizes it in a different medium. It doesn't ruin it. This is what the show needs to do. And yeah.
I think that you're not going to get the end of, I'm assuming anyway, the end of the second game at the end of season 2.
No, God, no.
Because I'm assuming the second game is a lot longer than the first one then.
It's huge. It's fucking huge, Paul. It's huge.
Bigger than the first?
Bigger than the first.
Okay, because I was like, we've got one game to one season so far, but then, so
Paul, it's like bigger than Sonic Adventure 2.
What? Nothing's bigger than that.
Well, it's
Screw
bigger
you.
lengthwise. It's not bigger, like, sensation-wise.
Oh, right, okay. All right, I get it.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fine.
yeah.
Okay.
It's not, yeah, don't worry. We're
Okay,
not comparing Elvis to the Beatles here.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Live and learn, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, the...
God, we've been running too long.
I do like that it depends on what the ending of the whole series is going to be then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'll definitely change how this. Yeah,
I'm predicting this series is going to end not the way you predict for both people that have and have not played. It will be something you don't see coming. And my prediction right here, right now, the end of series season 4 is gonna be Ellie, Dina, Jesse, and their wee babby Jesse Eisenberg. The 4 of them walking off into the sunset together, skipping. There'll be a yellow ish sort of road. One of them will be wearing red boots, and they'll be humming a little song. They're all searching for something. Each one will be, one of them searching for intelligence. The other, they're searching for some kind of backbone, like to stand up to people. And I forget what the other shit is, but yeah, no.
I was just letting you go, mate. I was just letting you go. Wow. So that will bring us rather ingloriously to the end. I've realised we've gone. You have pandered to us for far too long, listeners. You've let us run for far too long. But so overall, Paul, thoughts on the series? Is it a strong series so far? Is it as strong as the first season? On like an overall scale of 1 to 10. How are you feeling of the series so far as we come into the penultimate episodes?
Yeah, I think Wizard of Oz was a really strong season.
No.
Oh, wait, you mean the last... Oh, right, shit. Yes,
The Last of Us?
The last couple of episodes. 5 was a bit meh. There was a couple of good scenes in it, but overall the episode's just a bit forgettable, I think. 6 was really good. but it was also served to me as a reminder of, I wish we have more Joe. And if you're saying that this is like all the sort of flashbacks we get, then I'm thinking we're not gonna probably see too much more of old Joe.
I don't think we will. I do not think we will.
So
I think old.
That could be a problem.
Yeah, I think old Pedro Pascal might not be on in the show very much longer. But much like Pedro not being in the show very much longer, we will not be on this podcast very much longer, because I think after today,
they will never allow us.
They will never let us do this again without. I mean, look how long we've run, Paul. It's been far too long.
It's fine. The listeners
it's
love
fine.
it.
So, the listeners love it. If you've enjoyed our ramblings about episode 5 and episode 6, join the discussion. Let us know what you thought about both of these episodes in the comments. Email us, tweet us, Blue Sky us, whatever it is you do. Contact us. Tell us your cruise rooms and where.
Please don't.
Where have you been? Please don't tell us. Do not tell us about your cruising adventure. No, that's something different. Don't tell us about.
Whoa!
Oh my god! Whoa! Hold on. Backpedal. If you have enjoyed both this episode and and the episodes of Last of Us, let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you are liking us, subscribing to us, rating us wherever you are listening to us, because that traction is helping us grow and reach more audiences. Big thank you to everyone who's tuned into our Mission Impossible ranking video. It's doing tremendously well. Please share and tell us what your most impossible mission has been. But before we leave the lovely listeners to enjoy the day without our voices in their ears, Polly Smack, where can the lovely listeners find you?
Well, lovely listeners, you can find me on Instagram when I'm not sailing the 7 seas and when I'm not having emotionally mature and complicated conversations on a porch at night time. At Stirrit Story.
And the lovely listeners, you may find me on some social medias at Joseph Boone. That's Joseph with an F. On Instagram, Twitter, maybe Blue Sky when I actually get my finger out and make it, where I will also be sitting on a porch with Paul, holding his hand, making sure that we're both safe in our cabin on a cruise. But me and Paul, we don't want your follow, do we, Paul?
I mean, I do. I take any follow I can get, but we would.
No. We don't. We would prefer that instead. You go follow the Withmates Pod at Withmates Pod on all social medias. Go follow us there, because that is where you can stay up to date with the ramblings that we have and the more actually curated stuff that when Mum and Dad are back from their holiday away, and you can tell why they needed a holiday, because we were the ones that were left
Let's send
at
them
home.
there, yeah.
Yeah, but Paul, that is all from you. That is all from me. That is all from this episode we have today. We will see yous next time. So, ladies on the Menji.
Tell me, Mr. Boone, do you know this is a business?
Fuck off. They're never going to let us do this again, Paul. They're never. Let's do this.
Oh, God.